we're foaming over. Let me just shut up and pour for a second. Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Dr. T, and we're off again into the wild blue yonder of the multiverse of beer and music. And today, the theme is going to be a classic with a little twist. Reason being, the impetus of that idea comes from the brewery, which is Elder Pine Brewing and Blending out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. It's on a family farm. I haven't been there yet, but it's on my list. It looks pretty cool. But their whole thing is they focus on classic styles with a modern twist. So that's the theme I've picked up on tonight. Tonight we're going to be drinking a beer from them called Death Below. It's actually a collaboration with a band called August Burns Red. They had an album out called Death Below, and the guys at Elder Pine are very much into music and collaborated with the band to brew this beer, which, could have been a red ale, but it's not. It's a New Zealand Pilsner, which we'll get into in a minute. But a little bit more about the brewery. This is from their website. Who are we? George, Paul, David, and Andrew. Two brewers and two brothers. Friends and family. Musicians, artists, engineers, and chemists. But most importantly, beer lovers. And I get that. I get that from their website. I get that from some of the names of their beers. There's one of the reasons they've moved up on my list of places to visit is that they have an English barley wine, which if you watch this channel for any length of time, you know I love my dark, heavy beers. English barley wine fits right into that category. I do love an English barley wine. But their English barley wine is called Lord Maris the Otter, which if you're not heavily into craft beer or a brewer yourself might not catch you right away. But there's an English base malt. A base malt, if you haven't watched it yet, watch the process. I'll put it up there. It's a beer short on the process of brewing, talks about the difference between base malts and specialty malts. The majority of the grain going into the beer is going to be your base malt. And there's a particularly tasty English base malt called Maris Otter. And that's where they get the name, Lord Maris of the Otter. So obviously they're using a lot of Maris Otter, which is a grain that I love. But that's off on a tangent. This particular beer, as I mentioned, is a New Zealand Pilsner. You may be asking yourself, what the hell is a New Zealand Pilsner? They're fairly new with the rise in the global craft beer scene of New Zealand hops. New Zealand Pilsners have started to become a thing. They're kind of similar to a German Pilsner, but not nearly as crisp and dry. They're softer, maltier, and have fuller body than a German Pilsner, but they're along the same lines, but they feature New Zealand hops, which really bring a lot of tropical fruits, citrus, that type of thing in very unique ways. But even though that hop is the center point, the focus of the beer is the hops, it's not going to be nearly as hoppy or bitter as, say, an IPA. So this particular New Zealand style Pilsner features Rawaka hops, which are also called D-Saaz, Saaz, spelled like that. S-A-A-Z. It's a Czechoslovakian and continental European hop that is very traditional, super associated with Pilsners. Czech Pilsners in particular, but also German Pilsners can use Saaz hops. Uh, and the Rawaka descends from the Saaz hop, but it has double the oils of Saaz hops. So it delivers very powerful citrus aromas of pink grapefruit. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what we've got. While I do that, I'll tell you what the brewery has to say about their beer. By the way, weighs in at 5.3%. And they say it's a New Zealand style Pilsner brewed with ultra rare and fascinating Rawaka hops for prominent. Ooh, we're foaming over. Let me just shut up and pour for a second. There we go. Clean up, aisle 5. Oh, man. I can smell it already, and it looks wonderful. But while I clean up, let me finish telling you what the brewery has to say about their beer. Never mind the paper towels. Ultra rare and fascinating Rawaka hops for prominent impressions of freshly zested Sicilian lemon and ruby red grapefruit. Oh, this smells great. That's what's nice about spilling beer. It smells good for a couple days, and then it starts getting stale. But be that as it may, the can art is pretty cool. The can art is actually the art from the album cover of Death Below, August Burns Red. So pretty desolate, scary. Now, some may hate me, but I did not pair this up with a song by August Burns Red. They're scream metal, and it's not really my thing. But we're going with the classic with a twist. But let's explore the beer. Beautiful golden color, slight haziness to it. Nice, fluffy white head. Not overly substantial, but definitely has some staying power. I'm not going nowhere. Already, I smell a very interesting Pilsner from here. It's fruity and floral, and I'm getting a little like bready, crackery. Yep. Oh yeah, bready, crackery, but it's really very citrus forward. It smells great. Let's try it though. Yeah, it's definitely a Pils. It's not super bitter, but it is showcasing the hops. You definitely, it's leaning to the hops. You do get some bitterness, but it's not terribly crisp or dry either, which is what you'd really expect in like a Czech Pils or a German Pils. You expect that crisp hop bite and a dry finish that makes you want to take another sip. This does have a little more fluffiness, a little more body than a German Pils or a Czech Pils. And it doesn't finish sweet by any manner, but it's not nearly as dry as the continental versions. Very tasty, light citrus notes. I do get a little lemon zest. I do get some grapefruit, maybe even a little touch of lime. Good, refreshing. Yeah, that's a great beer. Definitely would drink more of this. But what are we gonna pair with our classic with a twist. Well, obviously, we're going to go classic rock. It's been a little while. There's some people out there that I won't say live in a rut, but they live in a rut, that really like classic rock, 70s, 80s. Things kind of fell apart for them in the grunge era. But we're going back. We're going back to a band that formed on Long Island in New York in 1967 and started off life as the Soft White Underbelly. We're talking about the inimitable Blue Oyster Cult. Been around for quite a while, and they're still doing it. In fact, they just have some new stuff out, but we're going to go back. Tonight, we're going back to 1981 to check out something off of Blue Oyster Cult's highest charting album, Fire of Unknown Origin, which hit number 24 on Billboard's 200 for 1981. The first release off the album, Burnin' For You, which was a number one hit for them on Billboard's top album rock tracks that year. Let's check it out.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Gotta love it. For those who crave the old days where there's actually guitar solos in songs, did you count them? Three. Three guitar solos in that song. Fantastic song from a fantastic band that gets overlooked. Technically classic rock, but they are definitely throwing a little curveballs to people. You saw that they're an early influence on the genre of heavy metal, but they combined hard rock with psychedelia. And I've even heard some of their songs where you get a little bit of a almost creepy doo-wop feel from them. They do a cover of the Ronettes. I'll link it below. Ronettes, "Be My Baby," but they ease it down and slow it down just a tiny bit and ease it down into a minor key, and it is haunting, but it's still good. As you saw, they were originally called themselves Soft White Underbelly. That was suggested by Sandy Pearlman, who was a college schoolmate and a music critic at the time when he first heard the band jamming at college. He said, "Let me be your manager." And he became their long-term manager and collaborator, producer, helped co-write many of the songs and provided a ton of the lyrics for the band. They went through several other names. They were Soft White Underbelly, as you saw there, for the first few years they were in existence. But they went through other names. Oaxaca, uh, spelled like that, the Mexican city. Stock Forest Group, Santos Sisters, among others. But it was Blue Oyster Cult, which was again suggested by Sandy Pearlman, that the band, they were kind of lukewarm on, but they went with it. And I'm glad they did. But a lot of people don't know the origins of that name. Sandy Pearlman was also a poet, and he wrote a voluminous manual called The Soft Doctrines of Imaginos, a bedtime story for the children of the damned. It was an alternative history fiction piece that described the origins of both World War I and World War II. And in it, there is a group of aliens that came to Earth in secret and formed a secret society to guide Earth's history. And that group was called the Blue Oyster Cult. And that's where they got the name. Fantastic band, fantastic song. The lyricism, their lyricism's always been pretty good. They've always incorporated a lot of like occult symbolism and fantasy and science fiction into their songs and into their albums that really, you know, pun not intended, garnered them quite a strong cult following. But they have had some success and longevity, big longevity. They've been around, like I said, since 1967, have put out 15 studio albums to date, 10 live albums, and out of those, they got 4 gold records and 2 platinum records. So, some commercial success along with that solid core of heavy metal, hard rock enthusiasts that love the band. There's a particular line. I mean, there's great lines in that song. There's a whole series of lines on the essence of time, but it's the very last line in that verse that is Dr. T's impact line of the song. It's after he goes through a long list of descriptors of time, time everlasting, time to play B-sides. For those who missed the album era and haven't caught on to the resurgence of vinyl, B-sides refers to the B-side of the album, where typically the less commercially popular tracks would get put. But at the end of all that, he sings, "Time ain't on my side, time I'll never know." This is coming from a perspective of a man who is so enamored with a woman that he is burning for her. When you're that enamored, you're not going to feel like you have time to dilly dally on other things. Time ain't on my side, time I'll never know. I like that line. You don't? I don't care. No, I do care. Tell me in the comments, and then I'll tell you I don't care. It's cool. But great band, great song, great beer, classic with a twist. If you like what I'm doing, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the notification bell because I'm putting out new content all the time and I'd hate for you to miss any of it. But most importantly, leave me a comment. Let me know what you like, let me know what you don't. Let me know if there's music I should check out or beers I should try. Let me know if you have questions. But until next week, my fellow adventurers, keep drinking.